Right, episode 2.
Yeah.
We come back. We didn't, we've made it further than a lot of podcasts. We got to
Yeah,
the
I
second
wasn't
episode.
sure. Wasn't sure if we'd be here again. But here we are. Yeah. What have we learnt from episode 1?
Well, we've learnt Arsenal might not be as good as we thought they are.
Yeah.
But, opening day, it can be tricky.
Yeah. I've learnt to mumble less. I
less?
mean, I mumble a lot just generally.
Yeah,
but
okay.
when I actually want people to listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, if it's...
I mean, no one did listen, thankfully, but, in future, maybe they will. So I'll try and enunciate a bit more.
Right, yeah, happy with that. I've learnt, we don't need to record it quite at so high definition.
Yeah.
But, these are all technical things that we'll work out over the weeks. And
Yeah.
we should...
iron out the creases.
Yes, definitely.
I should have done that with your t-shirt.
Oh, this is nice. No iron. This from Metalland.
Yeah.
Right, we had a nice day out yesterday. Generally.
Yeah, until about 4:10 was it? When no,
quarter
to 5,
maybe,
probably. Yeah.
Lovely sunny day at Old Trafford. First day of the season. Everyone was in high spirits.
Yeah, I got in nice and early.
Yeah. Bit of trouble with the ticket office, as there always is on the first day, but we were all right.
Yeah, we know what we're doing.
Yeah. And then game started off okay, I thought. What did you make of the team? You happy with the lineup?
Yeah, I mean, we concluded on the last episode that Sesko would start.
Yeah.
And he didn't.
We proved wrong.
I literally said I can't see him starting Mount in the false 9 in the first game of the season.
I suppose the sort of internal mechanisms of player fitness and that sort of thing must have fed into it. I think obviously Sesko's going to be starting once he's up to speed. I would have started him, but the manager knows better than me, and I'm sure he won't have been fit enough to play 60, 70 minutes. That must have been it.
Surprised to see Onana, because on Friday Amorim said Onana's ready.
Yeah. And
then he wasn't clearly ready.
Yeah. Some interesting wording around that as well, when Jamie Jackson tried to sort of get a rise out of him and said, you've dropped Onana. And Amorim made the point of, I haven't dropped him, I've just picked 2 other players instead of him. Which is interesting wording. I think it's a bit of a technicality.
Yeah, I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Always when you drop someone, you choose to play someone else instead of them.
Yeah. But I think he's saying it's more of a vote of confidence in the keepers he has chosen rather than the keeper he hasn't. But I think it's not I don't think Bayindir. I think no one thinks Bayindir is as good as Onana.
No.
So maybe it's a thing with Højlund where it might be worse in the short term to not have that option, but we're trying to force them out. Doesn't seem like we're trying to force Onana out to the same degree.
No, I've not seen any. Leading up to the game and since then, there's not been any concrete stories of Onana being close to a move or anything. Nothing.
So interesting one. We'll have to keep an eye on that.
Yeah, Amorim didn't react well to the suggestion that he should have played Tom Heaton.
No,
he didn't take that one well.
No, Dallo instead of Ahmad. It's a tricky one that, because in hindsight, Ahmad came on and did very well, and you think, why wouldn't you just start him? But Arsenal's attackers didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
On another day, you've got Saka, really good player. Maybe someone with a bit more defensive nous on that right-hand side would have been worth the switch. I think probably with how ineffective Arsenal were on the attack, probably would have been fine starting Ahmad. I don't think he would have struggled.
Dallo, I thought, played all right, to be fair.
He was fine. Yeah, he's just not Ahmad. When he gets down the other end of the pitch, Ahmad is much, much more effective.
Yeah, but generally, the team was pretty normal, what you expect.
Yeah, no real surprises. Mount, I thought Mount was good.
Yeah, I thought it was one of his better games. He's had plenty of games where he's gone missing, but he was. You could see what his role was in the team, at least.
Yeah. Still, carrying over from last season, real lack of production from a lot of players. Not getting good shots off, not getting playing key passes at the right time. Sort of, we managed to get a lot of shots off during the game. A lot of those were sort of snatched at a little bit. Probably just first day nerves, I think. But I think the new boys did well.
Yeah, I thought they were both really good. I think Cunha looked fitter than Mbeumo.
Right.
Which probably because he's had full pre-season, whereas Mbeumo came a little bit late. didn't play the first couple of games, and he did look like he had a little bit less energy at times. But I thought they both looked good.
Yeah, some really nice moments from both of them. Yeah.
I mean, plenty of players have looked good in their first game. Anthony, after 3 games, looked
a world beater. Yeah,
but they did look like they fitted in the team. Cunha especially, he's just such a good player to watch.
Yeah, he's brilliant. Yeah, I'm really excited to see more of him. I think the sort of game that he will come alive in is more games where we have more of the ball and we're able to put more pressure on their back line more often and more sort of constant pressure.
Can play between the lines, sort of.
Yeah, I think a game like this where it's stretched, he's really good carrier of the ball. I think we saw that in a few good moments where he picks the ball up quite deep and within sort of 10 seconds, so you can get you down the pitch, gain 30 yards, bring other players into play. A couple of times where I think he sort of snatched at his chance and he could have got a better shot off. That one in the first half where he burst through the line, I think a couple of games down the line, later in the season, I think he buries that.
Yeah.
He sort of
he
got
just
it
sort of ran out of
his
it.
feet a little bit. And he's up against William Saliba as well. He's a very good defender in that scenario. So no real shame there, but really bright from both of them, I thought.
Yeah, Cunha had the chance as well from the sort of tight angle where it's hard to say whether it was going in or not. And Raya just got down to
Raya did well to get a fingertip to it and turn it wide. Dorgu, not spoke about him. I thought he was bright.
He was good. He looked good on tour, and he was at Amarim's first signing last season.
Yeah,
I think he looks like he's going to be a big player for us.
Yeah,
I think he's going to nail down that left wing back spot.
Yeah, definitely. And the wing backs are so important to this system, like getting up the pitch quickly because we're not playing wide attackers.
Yeah.
If you end up with just 3 of them up there and no one getting up to support them, then you're really stuck and you're really down on numbers. A back 4 can handle a front 3.
Yeah.
The whole benefit of this system is it can attack as a 5 or a 6 at times with Bruno getting in there. So, and you need that because otherwise it's just too easy to defend against. If it's just 3 players sort of drifting about, you need to be able to get it wide. And Dorgu's really good at that and keeping the width, staying high up the pitch. And he's got the physicality to recover as well. He doesn't get caught out or, he's not like vulnerable to a ball in behind.
Yeah,
he's definitely capable as a defender, even if he is a very attacking player.
Yeah. And it'd be nice. We've not had this for a while. We've tried it a few times, but if Dorgu and Cunha they just know they're going to start in those 2 positions, and they can form a good relationship with each other. And hopefully Mbeumo and Ahmad on the other side as well.
Yeah,
they're regular players in those positions, then they can hopefully build a bit of a relationship.
Yeah, there was a little bit of that needing to happen on the other side, I think, with Dalot and Mbeumo, where they sort of got their wires crossed a couple of times.
Yeah,
and Ahmad as well when he came on. You sort of need to work together in sort of like in tandem. You've got one going inside, you need the other one to go outside. You don't want to end up with everyone stood in the same spot, which happened a little bit with Ahmad and Mbeumo. And developing that partnership is going to be really key, I think, to how effective they can be. Because neither of them are used to, Ahmad last season had Bruno playing in that position a lot.
Yeah.
Or Xerxes, who are really central players. And so Ahmad had the run of that whole touchline to himself. Whereas if Mbeumo's there, Mbeumo's sometimes going to drift wide. Ahmad needs to learn to cut in and fill that space inside.
Yeah.
So they're not marking each other out again, really.
Yeah.
But I'm interested to see that partnership develop. And that was sort of the takeaway from the game for me was, yes, we didn't get the result, but I'm excited to watch this team going forward.
Yeah.
Which isn't necessarily the case often after a loss.
Yeah. You did say you've sort of made your peace with if we play well and there's encouraging signs, then you'd be okay with a narrow loss. Are you?
I wasn't yesterday because, as I said, in the ground, the issue with the narrow loss is it's really close to a draw or a win.
Yeah.
You just think about those 1 or 2 moments that could have gone differently. We'll get to the goal, but from our point of view, the couple of hitting the post from Dorgu, a couple of great chances, the Mbeumo sort of overhead kick,
and the
header.
Kick, yeah.
A couple of those moments go the other way, or the keepers are make different decisions. Then that could very easily have been a win and a deserved win, I think. But obviously, long term, we're not in this point where every point counts. We're not challenging for a title this season.
Yeah. It's not about whether we beat Arsenal. We know Arsenal are better than us.
Yeah. And I think hopefully, if you're in a title race, which hopefully this team can be at some point, those 3 points in every game is the goal. And you can't really, if you don't get the win, then you've sort of failed. And, not to give Roy Keane too much
I was about to mention Roy Keane.
But I'm not saying it wasn't a bad result. Obviously, it's a bad result to lose at home, but lots of encouraging signs.
Yeah.
Lots of positives to take from the game.
And it's how bad we were last season that has affected this perception of United. Roy Keane thinks it's terrible that United fans are happy with a loss, so to speak.
Yeah.
But we're taking the positives because last season there were so many games we lost where there were no positives.
Yeah. And if, with the state of where United are and the state United have been for the last 10, 15 years now, if you are unable to take small positives, then there are no positives. If you're just waiting for big positives, if you're just waiting for winning the league as the only encouragement you can take and the only joy you can take from watching United is winning the big trophies, then you've gone 15 years without any enjoyment. And no one can do that. You have to be able to take some small enjoyment from some encouraging signs.
Yeah.
Not every game is winning the league. And, it was a loss. There's a lot more to be done. But you have to be able to enjoy, where you can. You have to take some joy from whatever you can at this stage.
A lot of the pundits who represent United, I know Roy Keane's not technically a United fan, but he speaks as an authority on United. Yeah. He seems to, he just doesn't seem to like United at all.
Yeah, no.
You look at Ian Wright, who even when Arsenal have been bad, he clearly loves Arsenal and roots for them and takes positives from them and sees what they need to do to get better. And I'd like a bit more of that from United representatives. Really. Yeah,
I think Neville is an interesting one. He goes too far. He tries so hard to be unbiased that he's sort of biased against United a lot of the time, where he can't see. But again, these are players who have played in the best side in the history of football.
Yeah.
They're obviously going to have high standards, and it's obviously a shame for them to see the club go this long. So you can see it from their point of view. But as fans, we really have to try and take some positives where we can.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of positives yesterday. It's just a shame there wasn't 3 points.
Yeah. It was frustrating. And I said about 20 minutes in, or like 10 minutes after the goal, it would be so frustrating if we lose this game 1-0
to that goal. Yeah, we should talk about the goal. Was it a foul, do you think?
It could have been given, and Saliba probably wouldn't have had much of an argument. But I think you can't rely on that. Those fouls are really commonly not given.
Yeah.
Even when the referees say they're going to crack down on holding in the box, that it's not
there
always going to be given.
There wasn't holding.
No,
if they'd been holding,
sort of standing.
Then it was sort of pressure, and I think it is really it's clutching at straws from the team to be, from the keeper as well, to be claiming a foul there when any keeper worth his salt clears Saliba out.
Yeah. And punches
it clear. And
he let himself get fouled, so to speak, really easily. And he didn't give Saliba enough back to
and Mount was trying his best, but Mount's there's two of you against one there. You should be able to manipulate Saliba out of the way.
Yeah. Surely Saliba
to get up
isn't stronger than Mount and Bayanda combined.
No, you'd hope not. I think we've said this about Arsenal before. They do push it physically in their attacking box.
Yeah.
But for them, if it gets given, it's a free kick for United, basically a goal kick.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't get given, then you gain a massive advantage.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do it? Every team should be doing it.
Yeah, they know where the line is pretty much of what's a foul, and you're going to go right up to that line. Occasionally you might go over it, but it's worth
the risk. Because,
They scored 15 goals a season.
And they're much, much less likely to disallow a goal than they are to allow a goal if the ref's given the foul.
Yeah.
So if the ref leaves it for VAR, they're always, and it goes in, it's gone in. The VAR is very, very unlikely to touch it unless there's a really clear foul. So you may as well try your luck. And Arsenal are very good at it, and they did it 2 times to us last season in the league at the Emirates, and They've done it to us again last week and yesterday, and United really can't really complain about the goal. It's just a shame that,
that's why we're still... Game. It's basically the perfect combination: Declan Rice delivery from a corner and Bayindir in goal.
Yeah,
that's just the perfect way to score from a corner, really.
Yeah, definitely. I think you've got. I'm hopeful, and we'll see what happens in the market. But I'm really hoping it doesn't turn into another season that is held back by goalkeeper mistakes. Because
we've had a couple of them.
Last season was held back by the forwards, and we've addressed that. But there was a lot of games where a decent goalkeeper gains us a point at least.
Yeah, and the season before as well, Onana's first season, he had some good games. It was more hit and miss than he was last season, which was more miss.
Yeah, but
there were a few, especially in the Champions League, where
was
just completely held back. That was Onana just sort of sabotaging our campaign. I don't like slagging off United players, but it's clear that neither of them are good enough.
No, and I think Onana was bought to play. Onana's a very specific type of goalkeeper, and I think it's indicative of the old United transfer regime where he was bought to play a very specific system. We never ended up playing anything like that system.
Yeah.
And so all of his qualities are completely hidden, and all of his vulnerabilities are massively exposed.
Yeah.
His qualities of being able to play the ball quickly into midfield, well, we play a system now where we sort of bypass the midfield when we've got the ball, and we go out wide and we go long into the channels, which he's unreliable at. His qualities of being a slightly above average shot stopper, they were okay in the first season because we conceded a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Now we try and concede fewer shots, but we're conceding more crosses, and he's really weak on crosses.
Yeah, they both.
I don't know. We've ended up slacking off Onana. He didn't play yesterday.
Yeah.
Bayindir's basically just a worse version of Onana. He's worse at everything.
Yeah, and to his credit, I thought Bayindir was all right with his feet yesterday.
Yeah,
he played a good pass, a few good passes out. But we said it when we saw the team. We all know Bayindir's not good enough.
Yeah.
He's had half a good game against Arsenal in the FA Cup last season, which is the evidence Amorim used in his press conference.
He did,
But we can't be... I don't know what Onana's situation is, but we can't be playing Bayindir regularly, especially in the Premier League.
No.
And even though Onana is not good enough either, I'm much happier with Onana than I am with Bayindir.
I think we'll see if they go back into the market. There's not been much talk of it, but I think it's held up by the sales at this point.
Yeah, and Donnarumma, there was rumours, and then it seemed like United put that to bed, basically.
Yeah, and now he's looking like maybe going to City.
Yeah, but then when you play, I don't know if Amorim, part of him will be slightly happy that he's got evidence to show the board and say, look, we clearly need a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Obviously, you'd rather we won and that goal was so inconsequential to the result, but there might be a part of him that thinks, well, surely they have to sanction a goalkeeper signing.
I'm always very sceptical about that sort of thing.
I don't think he deliberately played Bayindir to do that.
But if that is the mechanism by which the club decide a player isn't good enough, rather than watching them every day in training and the whole body of evidence of last season of them playing, Bayindir played 4 or 5 games last season, and if that's the way that the manager tries to convey things to the people above him, then you've got much bigger problems.
Yeah. It's more the kind of thing that would happen in the old regime. Yes. Mourinho and the Glazers would. Yeah,
when he playing Scott McTominay at centre half.
Things
like that. But I'd like to think that there's better channels of communication now.
Yeah. If the decision makers didn't already know that we need a goalkeeper, then
yes,
there's something wrong.
So we'll see. I think hopefully they can move some of the sales forward, and if you can't get your first choice midfielder, which it looks like now they can't.
Yeah.
If there was a possibility of spending £100 million on a midfielder, surely that there is an opportunity to spend £25 million on a goalkeeper.
Yeah, and then you could spend some money on a midfielder as well.
Yeah, I think I would prioritise goalkeeper now.
Yeah, I would.
Depending on what the Onana situation is. If he's decided to completely cut ties with Onana, then they absolutely have to sign a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
if Onana is not quite sharp enough to play, then that's another matter, and a goalkeeper would be nice. We haven't talked about the midfield. The midfield is the other place where a signing could be sort of transformative, I think.
Yeah. Casemiro, he was fine. Yeah, he played quite well.
Yeah. I don't know how well the partnership of Bruno Casemiro works. I don't know if it gets the best out of Bruno, taking the ball off the centre halves and playing the ball into the channels. They're both quite capable long passers, and there was a lot of space behind Arsenal's fullbacks yesterday, which allowed Mbeumo quite a lot of joy. But I don't think it utilises either of them particularly well. And it feels odd to be saying this, but there's games that I think will get much more pressure on the midfield than yesterday.
Yeah.
I really didn't think Odegaard and Rice and Zubimendi sort of stepped up to Bruno and Casemiro, and maybe that's a sort of luxury of being a big team where it's more about what you do with the ball. Yeah. There are games this season when we're going to be receiving the ball with those two midfield, and we're going to have the opposition midfield right up against us.
Yeah.
And
I don't fancy us against Liverpool. That midfield.
Yeah, Liverpool. I'm thinking of teams like Brentford and Brighton, and Bournemouth, the 3Bs, who are hyper aggressive at winning the ball back, and Casemiro can very easily get caught on it. Then you're looking at playing the ball back to the centre halves. Yoro and Shaw, they're quite capable progressive passers, but you don't want to be relying on them every time because they can get pressed, and then you're going back to the keeper. Then you can see these turnovers happening, and you want to minimise them. A midfielder who can receive the ball more reliably and has a more diverse range of options there, who can use the centre halves, who can turn on the ball and drive, who can play it long, would make a huge difference. And I think it would be the difference between sort of top 8 and maybe top 6 or top 5. I don't think a goalkeeper and a midfielder I'd be much more confident.
Yeah. Because as well as Casemiro played yesterday, he played for an hour.
Yeah.
He never plays 90 minutes.
No.
And then the option to replace him is Ugarte, who once again, he
was
didn't win any
poor,
more admirers yesterday.
No, a couple of bad mistakes. He doesn't
have many to begin with.
Yeah, he was poor. I think he reminds me, the metaphor I used yesterday was like with Onana, where he might be doing 10 good things or above average things. He might be winning the ball in decent areas and playing, functional passes quite reliably. But if he makes 2 big mistakes in a game or wastes the ball at key moments, you forget all of those things.
Yeah.
Onana might save 5 shots in a game, and then he drops one at the feet of the attacker, and it's Onana's cost us the points. Those positions are, the sort of defensive positions, definitely, but positions where you're under pressure, the mistakes cost a lot more than being functional gains you.
Yeah.
I think if a striker makes a big mistake, then they miss the chance, but it's just as bad as, doesn't cost you anything. It might cost you a chance in that moment. Goalkeeper makes a mistake, it's a goal.
Might not be able to come back from that.
Yeah, midfielder makes a mistake, like we saw yesterday, gets the ball turned over. They could have very easily had a sort of overload, and thankfully, again, they were quite poor attacking-wise, so they weren't able to punish us, but Havertz picked up the ball in quite a dangerous area, and the right pass could have easily, taken the game out of reach.
Yeah. I don't really know much about who midfielders we could sign. Belieber last season, everyone was raving about him in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And he was the one. A lot of United fans were like, well, I'd love it if we could sign Belieber this summer.
Yeah.
And then we actually went for him. We've now decided we can't sign him.
Yeah.
So what are the options?
It's interesting. I think the club must have briefed that they were trying to sign Belieber. Because if you're trying to sign someone but you haven't done it yet, that can only come from 1 or 2 places. That could have come from Belieber's agent to put pressure on Brighton, or it could have come from United. That's only the only people who would possibly brief that information. And with that brief coming out, always was the caveat of it's a very difficult deal, it's very unlikely.
Yeah.
So I don't know if United thought it would help put pressure on Brighton to sell. It hasn't worked. Brighton
are we putting pressure on Brighton to sell next summer?
Possibly. Maybe we want Belieber to agree some sort of not anything legal or anything binding, but sort of commit to us for next summer.
Yeah,
which would save us a lot of hassle. I think there's going to be a lot more competition for him next summer.
Yeah, and it might be easier if we open a dialogue with Brighton now, where they say he's not for sale, but
come back next summer.
He will be for sale next year.
Yeah,
then that could because Brighton seem to, as I said this in the first episode, Brighton seem to know in advance when they plan to sell each of their big players.
Yeah.
So if they've decided next summer's the one to get him, if we can get this work done in advance and make Belieber want to join us, then we might be able to do that quickly next summer and fight off anyone else who wants to sign him.
Yeah. The player I really like his name has been talked about a lot. Hayden Hackney from Middlesbrough. He's he's an all-action midfielder. You know, he progresses the ball really well. Yeah. He has high defensive numbers. Ipswich were talking of signing him, and they're at the top of the Championship. And I think something that United and other big clubs could learn from is that the step up really isn't as big as people think it is. And within 6 months, a player can go from being a good player in the Championship to being a good player in the Premier League. It's, you know, if you look at Adam Wharton was one of the best midfielders in the Championship and almost immediately became one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. There wasn't that huge transition period.
Yeah. You look at Elise as well and Jared Bowen.
Yeah.
Players who have they were excelling and they've got the qualities. It's more similar, the Championship, to the Premier League than a lot of European leagues.
Yeah.
So you can identify those qualities that you know they're going to be able to carry over.
And transferable skills, definitely. And I think big clubs, I think it's an undertapped resource for big clubs, is skipping out that middleman.
Of Crystal Palace.
Palace, Brighton. These teams are very good at spotting these players. And is it Dougie Friedman? Is that his name? No, he's the journalist.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Is he Dougie Friedman? It's poor journalism from us. Dougie Friedman is the transfer guy at Palace, isn't he?
Yes, or was at Palace.
He's left now, Palace now,
works for Saudi Arabia. But he seems to have this sort of special source of finding these players that are going to develop, and that is such a good market. I think a player like Hayden Hackney could be the next one to do it, where it seems quite obvious. It seems like if you're able to do these things at that level, 6 months maybe, you're able to do them at the top level.
Yeah.
And it's a risk, but it's a much smaller risk than some of the risks we've taken in the past.
Because Championship clubs can't demand as high a fee.
No.
They have to take a certain amount of money.
And they all lose money every year. So every player is viable from the Championship.
Yeah.
And if you're looking at a £70 million midfielder from the Dutch league, there's no guarantee that they will be able to play top level in the Premier League.
Yeah, and there's no guarantee with the Championship, but you can have a much better idea.
So, I think there's talk of sort of £25 million fee for him. I think at that price, and we saw with Dan James, which was uncharacteristic from United, signing from the Championship.
Yeah.
Within, he didn't make the step up to the very highest level, but we were then able to not take a hit on that and make a profit on
him.
Even if you're only able to recoup your fee, there's not really anything lost by it.
No.
The risk there is whether or not a player can develop at Crystal Palace, but maybe not develop playing for Man United every week.
Yeah.
But I think the squad is in a position now with United where a player could come in and be integrated properly.
Yeah.
In almost any position. I think it's a shame that Šeško is going to come in and be our starting centre forward straight away.
Yeah.
But we're not looking like signing young players to immediately drop into the team and play every single week.
Which is good because we have done that in recent years and burnt out a lot of players.
Yeah, and it's cost us. And I think a midfielder who could play some of the minutes that Casemiro plays and play in the sort of game where Casemiro is weak would be a really big addition to the squad and could be available for not too much money.
Do you know all if we're interested in him, or is he just a player we should be interested in?
He's a player we definitely should be interested in. I don't generally follow players who the club aren't interested in because I sort of trust the club to know what they're doing.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, well, I think if the club have a target in mind beyond Belieber, then I would be interested to know who it is because they could do a lot worse than Hayden Hackney.
Yeah.
I think the Fernandes problem is I'm not going to call him the Fernandes problem. He's a very good player.
A lot of fans would.
They do, yeah. I think he played fine yesterday. I don't think he made any sort of errors in possession. I think he was quite tidy. I know a big stick people used to beat him with is he's not able to look after the ball.
Yeah.
But I think that's a bit of a myth. I think he doesn't like looking after the ball.
Yeah, he likes to take risks.
Yeah, but if the situation demands it and the manager has asked him to do it, I think he's quite capable of doing it.
Yeah, I think he was quiet, but it was that kind of game really.
Yeah.
He just wasn't able to create these big chances. But when he's playing further back, that's not really what's expected of him. And he did a decent job of getting the ball to Cunha and Mbeumo.
Yeah.
So
I think, again, games where we are further up the pitch more and we are able to recycle the ball quicker, he'll be much more effective. And especially with Sesko starting, hopefully we've got a centre forward now who can make the right sort of runs and players can start to look for him and start to trust that he'll be there. And that'll take time to build, but he's a young player. There is time to do it. I think the only issue with those games is the games where you're further up the pitch, you're a lot more vulnerable to the transition.
Yeah, which is
getting turned over, which is Casemiro and Fernandes are quite weak against. And then you're relying on your defenders.
Yeah.
I thought the defenders were great yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought all three of them.
Especially, Delict grabbed the headlines because he's sort of the most visually.
Yes.
You can see what he does. He won so many headers and stuff.
And he was against Gyökeres.
Yeah,
and there was a lot of eyes on Gyökeres yesterday. Yeah. The whole United connection there.
Yeah, but they all did really well, I think, the defenders.
Yoro's is such an impressive player.
Yeah.
To come to such a club at his age, with his level of experience, it's all one senior season, big fee.
Yeah.
And he's not really put a foot wrong.
Yeah. The fact that he managed to look good last season is
really impressive. Not really put a foot wrong and started the season well yesterday. The fact that I'm slightly worried that we are relying on him too much to progress the ball because a lot of the time the ball comes to Delict from the keeper or Casemiro or Fernandes from the keeper, goes to Yoro, and it's Yoro's job to pick the pass and play the right ball. And he does it very often, and he's able to play it long and play aggressively with it. But it's without Martinez on the other side, a lot of that progression is going to come through Yoro. And that's a lot to put on the shoulders of a 19-year-old defender. I think Martinez would make a big difference in that he's also very good at progressing the ball.
Yeah.
Out the back.
Yeah. There's not been a lot of movement on the old Sale front.
No.
With Anthony and Garnacho are still just sort of waiting around for the club they want to move to.
Bit of news around Højlund.
Yeah, it seems the fact that he wasn't in the squad at Arsenal, surely he must see that he has to move.
Yeah.
I mean, Amorim is not making a secret of the fact that he has no interest in playing Højlund. And it's a shame because I really liked Højlund when he came in. And I really wanted it to work out. Last season he was really poor.
Yeah.
But I still want him to do well, and I think he must realise now that that's not going to be at United. And I think that's one that will happen. It seems to be Milan or maybe Napoli.
Napoli seems to be sniffing around now.
Yeah. It'll probably be a loan with an option to buy, which isn't ideal, but it might be what we have to do to move players on. And
we could probably get a fee as well. It's usually a sort of fee and an option, or no fee and an obligation.
Yeah.
And if we can get a few million in now and the probability of some more money next year and a year of less wages, then I think it's probably worth it.
Yeah.
The talk then would be, are we short at centre forward?
Yeah, I think we will be. There was an issue. Højlund was really bad last season, but even if he wasn't, he shouldn't have been playing every single game.
No.
We should have more than one number 9 at the club. And if we signed Sesko and get rid of Højlund, then we're in the same position. Yeah. Even if Sesko's scoring goals regularly, we don't want him to have to play every single minute in that position.
No, I think there's a couple of mitigations on that, in that we're not playing European football, which does help. and there's Cunha as well, who's played number 9 before.
Yeah.
I don't think it's his best position. I think you lose a lot of his skills playing him that far forward and playing with his face in the goal. I think one thing we saw yesterday from him is he loves to pick up the ball and run with it.
Yeah, which he can't do when he's got his back to goal.
Yeah, if he's all the way up at the top of the pitch, we're going to be underutilising that skill. But to take some minutes off Šeško, maybe.
Yeah, and there's Xerxes as well. We don't know what role he's going to play, really. Last season, he went back and forth between the number 9 role and one of the 2 number 10s. So I suppose you can use him in that position, even if it's not his best. And there's Obi as well. I don't think he's ready to play too many minutes. He played a couple of games last season and looked fine. But
I think I was more out of
didn't look like he was ready to be a first-team regular. So, maybe he'll get a couple of minutes in the Carabao Cup and things like that.
Yeah, I'm excited to see more of him. Yeah. And that was my main takeaway of the whole day yesterday was, yes, we lost and it was disappointing, but there's a lot more to come from this team. That's what I felt. And a couple of those things go the other way, and we're looking at the back of a very good result.
Yeah.
I like the media attention at the moment around United seems to be they were better than we thought they were going to be yesterday. I think if we'd won, then a lot of the pressure goes straight back on the team of United are back, United are... what can United achieve this season? And
that's not really helpful.
I was hoping for a season of steady progress and maybe a little bit less pressure on the team with one game a week for a while. Maybe we can start to see a team form without all of the sort of immediate pressure to do it right now.
Yeah.
And I think there was definitely the early signs of that yesterday of there's a lot more to come, and these sort of partnerships can form and players can grow into these roles, and it's I'm still very excited for the season. That's not been dampened by quite poor goalkeeping mistake and a couple of missed chances. I think cautiously optimistic. I don't think that's changed based on yesterday.
Yeah, I think we could probably do with a striker if Højlund goes, but I can't see us signing one, to be honest.
No,
if we sign anyone, I don't think it'll be in that position. So I think we probably will have to make do with those options. But like you say, there's one game a week and maybe a handful of cup games, but generally we might not need too many options up there.
No. So then you're looking at, you have to sign a player who, all being well, might play 5 to 10 games.
Yeah.
That is a difficult player to sign. You don't want to be the club that signs old players on loan.
We don't want to be that anymore.
No, which we've done in the past. We don't want to take money away from any other position for a player that might end up never playing.
Yeah.
So it's a tricky one. Maybe a free agent. Maybe there's a couple.
Yeah, well, Calvert-Lewin was one we were linked with, and lots of people, were not happy about that. But I think he would have been all right as an option.
Yeah.
He's only fit to play 5-10 games a season, so
yeah. It's a shame Callum Wilson signed for. He could have done the job.
Yeah. There is one free agent still out there. Premier League winner, FA Cup winner.
Shithouse.
Yeah. Jamie Vardy, for anyone who's not aware. I think you're on the.
We could do worse. I think it would be. My only issue is
it would be funny.
I think it would be funny, and funny signings. If you can't get the best outcome, go for the funniest outcome. That's generally what I go for. He'd probably want paying a lot of money, and then we shouldn't do it because he's 40 years old. But if we get towards the end of August into September, and there's a bit of money floating around, maybe they'll think about pulling the trigger on someone. Yeah.
Sancho continues to frustrate United fans as much as he did when he was on the pitch.
Yes.
Because there were rumours he was close to a move to Milan. They made a bid of £20 million apparently for
Roma,
to sign him possibly on a loan with an option to buy or obligation or whatever the terms and conditions were. And it seems like he's not agreed to move there because they aren't going to pay him $250,000 a week. No. Because why would anyone do that?
Yeah.
And it seems like he, at this stage, doesn't want to accept a pay cut.
No.
Maybe that'll change, but I don't think any club that he wants to go to will pay him that money.
No, I think there's 2 markets left for him, and I think it's Turkey and Saudi.
Yeah. The good thing is that they're open late.
They're open late, so maybe he'll wait until the end of the European window.
And if no one's agreed to pay him,
which no one will,
yeah,
then he will be willing to take an option. He's not going to sit and not play for a year.
I mean, there's a lot of players who I think, they won't. They don't mean it. They won't just sit in the reserves for a season.
You think he might?
Sancho, it seems like he could do.
Yeah, if anyone would, I wouldn't put it past him. But surely, not a big enough offer comes in from Turkey or from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
And he goes and
we would rather play there than nowhere, I think.
And we can move on.
But it is only a year.
Yeah,
he's only got a year on his contract, so he would only have to
wait us out for a year.
Yeah, I mean De Gea didn't have a club for a year, and he was all right.
Yeah,
it's only one season, so I could see that happening. I don't want it to happen. Obviously, I want us to get something for him and someone to take him off the wage bill. We might have to load him and cover some of his wages, and then it's a permanent deal in a year. Yeah, but it's not ideal.
Who would sign him in a year? Would a European club sign him in a year? If he's not played for a year after playing mediocre to well at Chelsea, would the clubs that he wants to play for that aren't coming in from now,
if he rots in the reserves for a year,
if he does nothing for a year, doesn't kick a ball, would they come in for him then? I don't think he has the cachet, the pedigree anymore. No. I think that's.
But he might see it as well. I can earn $250,000 a week for a year, and then if I have to go to a worse club, it's not as bad. I don't know. But
no, we don't know what goes on in these players' heads.
Yeah,
we're talking about quantities of money that are so sort of astronomical that we have no frame of reference for how they make the human brain work.
Yeah,
we just don't know.
I'd be happy earning $100,000 a week, me.
Even sitting on the bench.
Yeah, I'd take it.
I don't know. You get bored.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. I think Turkey could well be the way to go early September.
Yeah,
but then it's too late for us to sign someone with that money.
Yeah,
but at least he's gone. It's better than
we're not spending out any more money. And January next summer.
Yeah,
we need to refill the coffers before those windows
readdress.
Did you see any other games this weekend?
Well, I had a look. I'm not sure which of our predictions is looking the most ropey. Possibly Arsenal to win the league from me.
Yeah.
We didn't learn much about Arsenal from that game.
No.
It was exactly they would have won that game 1-0 last season, They didn't blow us away. Gyökeres did very little, and I don't want to, write him off because it's not a good idea probably, but it was an underwhelming debut from him.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
But on that evidence, you can't see them going that next level and finishing above Liverpool. But it is only one game.
Yeah, they'll have to get a lot better than that if they want to win the league. But they are very capable of getting better than that. They've done it in the past.
Yeah,
Gyökeres, he will play against defenders that aren't de Ligt in the future.
Yeah,
but
he won't play against defenders the level of the bottom half of the Portuguese league.
No, that's true. And a lot of the sort of naysayers this summer were saying that the physical defenders of the Premier League might thwart him, and that's what happened yesterday. There's no two ways about it. He tried to battle against de Ligt and got very little joy out of it, and then the sort of 3 or 4 moments he did get loose, he fluffed his lines in a way.
Yeah.
But I think he's still got some weight to lose and some sharpness to pick up. He had a long summer of doing very little.
Striking.
Yeah, not
No, that's kind of striking he normally does. That's a bit of the humour we're trying to increase in the podcast. So. Stay tuned for more of that.
Yeah, but they need a lot more to see from Arsenal if they want to get anywhere near what Liverpool showed on Friday night. Then they're going to really have to pull their socks up. I caught the goals of the Liverpool game. They looked very dangerous attacking, but they got caught out a few times.
Yeah.
Going the other
way.
Van
Dijk looked a little rusty, which is probably only going to last a couple of games.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of patches in the last 8 years he's been there now.
8 years of being the best.
In the league. It's not the first time he's had a couple of games where because he was poor in the Community Shield as well. Yeah. It's not the first time where he's had a couple of games where he's looked a bit off it. I'm sure he'll be back to a much higher level.
Yeah.
And Liverpool won anyway. So...
Liverpool have got that champion mentality now. They've won that. They've done it. They got over the line last season, and they've got the very special quality that a lot of championship teams have, where they don't know when the game's over.
Yeah,
and they will keep going till the very, very last man. And a few times last season, they looked like they might have come unstuck and got a result. And that was another case on Friday night where I think that happens to Arsenal. That finishes 2-2 that game.
Yeah.
I think Arsenal don't have and maybe Arsenal this season will grow into that.
Yeah, because Arsenal had a very similar game against Villa last season where they were 2-0 up and Villa got back to 2-0 and it did finish 2-0.
Yeah.
And they didn't go again. They didn't have that in them. Whereas Liverpool always seem to have that in them.
Yeah. And that's definitely a personality thing. That's not about the quality of the players.
No.
That's about the mentality of Salah and Alisson and Van Dijk, who are huge
winners,
and winners and can push the players around them to keep going till the very end.
Yeah.
They're going to be a really interesting team to watch. I think they'll have a lot of exciting games.
Yeah.
We just hope not too many where they pull out the result.
But yeah. We probably have to talk about City.
Yeah.
They looked really good. And Wolves, a lot of people have predicted them to struggle, but City blew them away.
They did. They looked very good.
Reinders looked like he slotted into that team perfectly. Yeah. He looked effortless. The first Haaland goal, Reinders in the midfield just glided through and found the perfect pass, and it was just City at their best.
Yeah,
and then Haaland's second goal was just Haaland just effortlessly coming onto the ball, and he's going to score.
Yeah,
and it was
nice cameo for Turkey at the end.
Yeah,
showed a bit of quality. They've got, as we said last week, they've got a lot of very good players, and when it works, it really works. And
they'll have tougher tests than Wolves, but they couldn't have done much better in that game.
No, they. If you wanted 2 games to say, I think a lot of people might come out of this weekend thinking they've overrated Arsenal and underrated City.
Yeah.
In their championship odds, because City over the second half of last season, City picked up the most points of anybody. Picked up more points than Liverpool since Christmas.
Right.
So they had that really rough patch last season. Yeah. Since then, they've been pretty steady.
Yeah, and then they've signed a lot of good players.
They've signed a lot of good players. They're definitely going to be there or thereabouts again this season. But they often start seasons very well. They often carry on very well. But last season they completely fell off a cliff for 6 weeks.
They often start slowly and then slowly get better, and then go from Christmas they hit that top gear and then they don't lose a game. So maybe if they start well, they'll then tail off instead.
Maybe, yeah,
it'd be nice.
A lot of good teams this year. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You enjoyed the Sunderland game, yeah?
Sunderland to go down, it's not looking like the safest of predictions now.
No.
Again, one game. West Ham were really poor.
Yeah.
But Sunderland, they didn't look like a newly promoted side. There wasn't a win from a newly promoted side till October last season. And Sunderland, and I'm sure, I don't know this, I've not looked it up, but I doubt Southampton won a game 3-0 last season in the Premier League.
No.
I don't know if any of them would have done. So...
really impressive stuff.
Yeah.
Some good the new signings looked, comfortable at this level.
There was three goals scored from people who came up with him. Ballard and Mayenda both played big part in the playoff. So I think that'll be encouraging as well. It's not just the new players that are going to help them stay at this level.
You need a combination of the two. You need your championship players to step up.
Yeah.
Which is something that Ipswich struggled with a lot last season.
Yeah.
The players weren't able to make that jump up.
Yeah. Although a lot of them had made the jump up from League One. So,
yeah. It's difficult to do it twice. And Sunderland, there's not too many players after their League One squad. They've got good few years in the Championship.
Yeah.
So, if you need to bring the players up with you. You can't just sign
the
Premier
whole
League
team
squad. You need the Championship players to be able to play at this level. And they showed that yesterday. They showed that on Saturday, sorry. They looked very bright indeed.
Yeah. It's Fulham on Sunday.
Yeah, big game.
Because obviously you take the positives because it was against Arsenal. How many games, if we have the same story again against Fulham, where we play well, don't get the goal, concede a poor goal, and lose 1-0, it'll be harder to do it again, take the positives again, and encouraging signs. I think it's
sort of a half-life there where 2-3 games in and we need to... You can't... I mean, the manager can't go on without results.
No, he's got nothing to fall back on currently.
The performances without the results can maybe get through last season.
Yeah, which we didn't have.
No, there weren't enough good performances and there weren't anywhere near enough good results. If we can pick up the performances but we don't manage to pick up the results, then it's going to amount to a lot of very little. I think the games that will decide how much better United are this season than last season are the games like on Sunday against Fulham.
We did actually manage to beat Fulham away last season. It was one of the few games Samarim did win against a team that are still in the Premier League, but it wasn't an amazing performance. It was a terrible game. We scored a goal with a big deflection. Be nice to play well and win quite comfortably.
Yeah, it would be. I think if we want to pick up considerably more points than we did last season, then games like this are a perfect way to do it. Again, I know we did win that last season, but away games against established Premier League sides, there were very, very few where we came out with anything to cling on to.
Yeah, and if we don't win, then that's Arsenal we lost, didn't win at Fulham, and then we're going into the derby.
Yeah.
Well, we've got Burnley at home, but we could very well
be pointless by the end of the Chelsea game. 5 games in. Yeah. You'd hope that we'd beat Burnley at home.
Yeah. But if you want to get a bit of momentum before that City game.
Yeah.
Because if we, say we drew at Fulham and beat Burnley but didn't convince, because we beat Ipswich and Southampton at home last season, but not
particularly well.
So if it was similar to that where we just happened to win, then going into the City game with not a lot of confidence, and then if you lose that, then it's starting to unravel already.
Yeah.
Not to be all doom and gloom.
No, I think Fulham it's an odd one starting the season against a big rival like that. I think Fulham can be the game to really get us underway.
Yeah,
I
hope so.
You've got... I mean, surely there can't be much more... We can't have done much more to guarantee an uptick in these games than signing players who... There's no... they both played Fulham last season.
Yeah.
They both know what playing Fulham is like.
Yeah.
They should be able to make that switch to doing it in a United shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know if either of them scored against Fulham last season, but...
Yeah, we've not done our research on that one.
But they're good Premier League players. They know how to play in this league. And they showed that against Arsenal. They weren't overawed at all.
Yeah.
They looked very similar to their Brentford and Wolves counterparts yesterday.
Yeah.
The goal didn't come. I'd like a goal to come for one of the two of them next week.
And Sesko obviously didn't start against Arsenal. We would expect him to start against Fulham.
Yeah.
And then we talked about this a little bit in last episode where you don't want your striker to go too many games without a goal. And it's only played half an hour. If he doesn't score against Fulham, I personally won't be panicking, but you just want to get that goal.
Yeah, you want to break the duck. You don't want 2 or 3 weeks going by waiting for that pressure, because 2 or 3 weeks can easily turn into 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, we've seen Højlund,
Yeah, Weghorst, these are players who... We've had too many strikers who aren't reliable.
Yeah.
And you want... I don't need 25 goals from Sesko this year, but you don't want to be going 5 games without a goal.
No.
You want reliable chance creation and chance conversion. And if he didn't have a great chance against Arsenal. He had a header that was a pretty poor cross.
Yeah.
You want to see him start 3 or 4 good shots.
Yeah.
And
get a goal.
You'd expect him to bag one of them.
Yeah. You've committed to... Well, you're leaning towards Sesko.
I'm going for Sesko.
That is what it is.
Yeah,
that's how he said it. I've just not made the leap yet.
I'm. It's not. It's definitely not Sesko.
No,
I don't think. But
at least one of them.
You can't say Sesko. Sesko doesn't work. Seshko, maybe.
That's what it's called when he's out on the lash.
Yeah, nice.
Bit more humour for you there.
Don't have to point it out every time. People are gonna, they'll be waiting for it. I think Sesko. I'm happy with that.
Right.
A bit Sean Connery.
Yeah.
But yeah, excited to see him start. I'm desperate for United to have a great centre forward again.
Yeah.
We've not had we had glimpses from Cavani, worked very hard,
Yeah,
scored
he was
some
a
nice
great
goals.
centre forward, but he wasn't.
Again, he wasn't there long enough.
Yeah, it was coming to the end of his career, and
Ibrahimovic, again, very charismatic, sort of talismanic player, but was showing his age a bit.
He was a bit reliable for most of one season.
Yeah.
Even in those games, there were a couple that
he missed a lot of chances.
He drew a lot of games.
Lukaku had half a good season, maybe.
Yeah, he had a good season that year, but Lukaku was always one where you just think, does he do it in the big moments?
No, yeah.
Half of his goals come in 3-0s and games that are won.
Yeah, and then we're looking at Robin van Persie, the last truly great United centre forward.
Yeah,
we need. It's been too long.
I saw a graphic from Sky Sports where it was United attacking signings and the transfer fee, and then number of goals and how much it cost us per goal.
Yeah,
Martial was the lowest.
Well,
I think
most of that is longevity.
He cost us like 60 million, and he didn't. I don't think he scored 60 goals for United.
No,
possibly.
But he played for
a long time,
11 years or something.
So he's got much more time
in
the squad to get those numbers. But there's plenty there who didn't.
Yeah, I'm glad we have a player who can play centre forward and only wants to play centre forward and isn't probably better as a number 10 or would rather be coming off the left.
Yeah,
he's a big, tall, fast centre forward who can hit the ball really hard.
Yeah, he can hold the ball up.
Yeah,
he can run in behind as well as playing his back to goal.
Yeah, he's not the finished article. I don't think anyone thinks that. He's still young and he's not had the great breakout season, but I see him more of a signing of sort of he has all the fundamentals.
Yeah, and we can bring him on that journey.
He can turn into the next big thing as a centre forward. And he was always my I sold myself on Gyökeres. I had reservations, but then I sort of came down on the line of
when you thought we were signing.
Yeah, I was able to sell it as you can definitely overthink transfers, and sometimes signing the bloke who's scored a ridiculous number of goals is fine. Yeah. Gyökeres didn't work out. He went to Arsenal, and then
you obviously flipped on Gyökeres and thought, well, he's stacked pads against terrible Portuguese teams.
I always preferred Šeško over Watkins. I think I know Watkins has done it in this league before, but there's the sort of price. The yearly cost wouldn't have been much lower because we probably would have only signed him on a sort of 3-year deal.
Yeah.
Whereas we can get a 6-year deal with Šeško where we could spread that cost out a lot more and probably on lower wages, I'd imagine. And if you're gonna, it's a big outlay for a striker. You want the possibility that he becomes one of the main guy and the striker to stay for 10 years.
Yeah.
And with Watkins, it was he'll do for the next couple of years, and that's fine. But it's not the sort of centre forward signing that I wanted.
It's not the kind of signing we've been making. It's the kind of Watkins is the kind of signing that perhaps we would have made a few years ago.
Yeah.
Whereas now we do seem to be planning a bit more long term. So hopefully Šeško is the man to.
Yeah, hopefully can open his account against Fulham.
Yeah. 3 points in the bag. Roll on the Reds, as you said in the first episode.
Yeah, a phrase that no one has ever said before. But
no real United fan.
That can be our, when we have a charity hit single.
Yeah. With the team,
obviously, for the cup final.
Yeah.
Favourite charity single involving a football team?
You've put me on the spot there. I like Spurs are on the way to Wembley
with
Chaz and Dave.
Yeah, that is a great one.
That is quality. The one that Status quoted with the United team that I think got to number 1. I think it's the only football song to get to number 1. Even 3 Lions didn't.
Yeah.
It's rubbish. It's really boring.
Well, it's Status Quo.
Yeah.
They
it's
are boring.
Just a few simple power chords and driving rhythm, but and Roy Keane in the video just does not want to be there.
The shock.
Yeah.
Roy Keane gets to watch football for a living and often looks like he doesn't want to be there.
Yeah.
So in a music video with Status Quo, it's not his comfort zone.
Yeah. But it seems to be a thing of the past, sadly.
It's a shame. Yeah. Maybe they'll bring it back. But
that'll be us.
The campaign starts now.
Yeah. We've got to write the song. We will build up the podcast a bit, then we'll approach the team about doing a song.
Okay. You can't, we can't go in there with nothing.
Yeah.
We're not a fault. We need to have a good basis before we get in there.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, episode 2 in the can. Yeah. When will it be out? No pressure.
It's mainly about the Arsenal game, so I'm hoping to get it out Monday night, Tuesday morning.
Okay, lovely. Well, we should probably stick to a schedule. I think that's what most of the big podcasts do. If we can.
Well, I think recording Monday night, as peek behind the curtain. It's Monday night.
Yeah. We did refer to the Arsenal games yesterday quite a few times. So
it could be.
It's no big shock.
If anyone from my work is watching, it is definitely the evening.
It's past 5:30. Don't worry.
Record Monday night, and then hopefully get it out first half of the week, and
keep listening.
Keep an eye on your
start
feeds.
Listening, whoever you are.
Recommend us. Spread the word, and available. We're now on iTunes as well. And Spotify soon, hopefully. So, if you'd rather,
we are on Spotify.
Are we?
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't get an email about that one. Okay. We're also now on Spotify.
Yeah. Professional standards.
If you'd rather not watch our ugly mugs, and just feel free to listen away.
We didn't mention the new backdrop.
Oh, the poster. No, spared no expense.
Yeah. We did get it from Mum and Dad's house
for free.
Yeah.
Off on Glange.
Yeah.
Well, it's early days. We'll
invest
the cash
one day.
The money's coming in.
Yeah. If you keep listening. So thanks for that, and we'll see you out there.
Ta-ra.